No. Welcome, the Algeyer's Garage. See, anytime you're doing a water pump or anything that goes through aluminum, look at the rust on here. Rust and dirt. These go through the timing cover, even though they hold the water pump on. What happens is rust builds up over time on here, then corrosion takes over between the aluminum and the steel. Ford doesn't put any paint on these when they put them in. So what we do, we put them in the cheek poker and just tune them up a little bit. See? And then, who cares how it slops on there? Slop that paint on there. Get it right on there. Good. Load it on there. Let it soak. See? That doesn't hurt anything. So now you made a barrier for the bolt. So hopefully that'll help with the corrosion. That's what we do. Now, you see this right here. I'm a stickler for not having stuff you can see. Like this is horrible. So maybe, just maybe, we can come along here. I'm going to help you out. Come right along here with this. And get rid of this. Now you don't want to tear it. Because if you tear it, you could tear a piece out of the oil pan. You shouldn't be able to. That gasket should be crushed. But what if it's not? Then what? See, so that way, visually, it's not such a yuck. So that's what we got to do with them. Bolts are drying for the water pump. Once they're dry, we'll get the gasket set up. And we'll get the water pump on. And then once the water pump's on, we can get this intake slapped on here and the valve cut. We're going to start looking like a motor again. Thank the Lord. And Regina's here. Gigi. JJ. Regina. Got everything ready to get the water pump on. We're going to do the intake right away. When we open the silicone, I didn't want to do one thing and another thing, so I want to do it all at once. We're still screwing around with Summit, the fuel pump. Sent me 2 bad ones. I'm waiting on a third. I actually physically had them open the box, and they said the third one is good. What we're going to try here, I have an oil pan here. Most of these motors are 4.5 to 5 quarts oil. As we go about it, I'll explain to you what I'm doing, and I'm doing an experiment here. In all reality, right here, you shouldn't need the oil to go above right here. That should be all you need. This is the rundown back in the pan. That's all you need. But now we have this. So I want to see what 4 quarts does first, and we'll go from there. Because what if this motor is calling for 4.5 quarts, and you have half a quart laying there all the time? Or what if 5 quarts is too much? We're going to find that out shortly. Stay tuned. 1 gallon. Of the finest Shell Rotella. This is T4. This is 1 gallon. As you can see the shelf? Right there. You're going up on your shelf. Not quite. So now we're going to fill this up. 4 quarts of oil is all this engine should need. I guess we know. I was doing 5 quarts, and this gal, you see what's left in here yet? Look, see that? So in theory, it's not full yet. So yeah, so I mean, it's off center just a little bit, but with the filter, 4.5 quarts is all I'm going to put in this engine. So there you have it, folks. 4.5 quarts. Because if this is a gallon, and in theory it's right here, that's all it really needs. Can we get it all in? I'm curious. So I guess in theory this would be like a quart and this would be like 3 quarts, I guess. So I really don't think. So if we put any more oil in now, it's coming up the pan. I mean, in theory, how much could that engine use? It can't use more than a quart at a time. It can't. Up inside the engine. I would not think so. So we're going to stick with a gallon. And I'm sure the filter probably holds half a quart. So we're going to do like 4 quarts and a half. And that's where I'm going to leave it. That's where we're going to run it. That's power on the table. That is power on the table. Okay, well, let's get back to getting this motor buttoned up. Hi. This is a gasket that I need to replace. Couldn't find it anywhere. This is the one that fits this plate. So we're going to do something out of the ordinary. We're going to silicone this whole thing. Put the gasket on it and go from there. You always be careful with these. They're cheap, they're throwaways, but they can really slice you. We don't want that. See, this will fit on here just like, okay, maybe not. Like so. I think this is the way it goes. Yeah, with those 2 bolts out. It'll fit right on here. And this plate will go on the top of it. And we're going to use scamuts to put it on. This plate goes like this. Hey, I got it first shot. Unlike this. Then we put that on, we put another gasket behind it, we start shooting our bolts in. So I have to glue this first. And once I put a liberal amount of glue on this, I think this is enough. Scamuts. So now, this plate goes on like so. See? Now I put these 2 screws in. We try to put these 2 screws in. We're going to put these 2 screws in. Come on now. You have to line this up and get it perfect because, unfortunately, and I would recommend looking through it, is what I would recommend. Okay. We have to guess these bolts, but we know for sure that these 2 go over here. I'm 99% positive that I got silicone on me. Great, 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 just great. Look, I just tried to glue the water pump to my pants leg. Great. You know, I don't want leaks, and I'm creating my own. Great. There, that should be plenty. Now, nope. Maybe. Nope. Ha 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 ha. Okay, we need to just get it done. That's what we need to do. As soon as I figure out what hole you go in. What a catastrophe. There. You go there and like it. You go there and like it. Nope, you don't go. I don't know if you go there or not. But it's. Well, that was not a fun game. But they're all tight. Pretty much. Hopefully, we don't get any leakage. That wouldn't be good. Everything's schmutz. Everything is on there. Hopefully that's tight enough. I probably should be using a torque wrench, but that's fine. I am using my torque wrench. There. Water pump's done. I'm going to take a short break and come back and tackle the intake. Schmutz. Well, before you start shooting RTV everywhere, shout, Gigi. We've got to see. See? If you notice, the holes are different size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover the gasket instead of a cylinder port. We're going to do it this way. And this will also help them stay put. See, we'll put a little bit on there like that. Put a little on there like that. And we're going to try not to get on anything else. Like so. A little bit on here. Just to keep it from sliding around. And then we're going to, well, we'll just switch these so you see what's going on. Get out of there, you double. So like so. You want to keep it with the one side lifted up. Your finger on the top side of the port. Top side of the port. So when you stick it, you know where you're sticking it. And you know that everything is lined up. Because remember, when you put the intake down, it's going to push these gaskets. That's why siliconing a little bit, and then as it starts to dry, we'll put a bead, a big bead, right across there to seal the China walls. And we'll torque the intake down. That should work. As you see, there's goo everywhere. China rails, they at least sit about 10-15 minutes usually. And then we'll come out and drop on that 3,500 to like 95 million RPMs intake. We'll get that torque down. I can't prime the engine until it's in the car because this is off. That's for oil pressure, so I can't do that. But there's a lot of stuff we can start working on the car too. So we'll get this out of the way, and then we'll. Oh, we got valve covers to put on too. I fixed them too. So we'll get this buttoned up today. Yes, we will. Okay, let me grab the intake. Nice and clean. See, I have studs. Makes it a lot easier. You don't have to light anything up, you just sit it on. Like so, nice and gently. Hey, squeezed it. Now, it's set down, so if you want to, do a little push. Don't get, overzealous or anything like that. Give it a push, get it to seat. I can tell by looking in the ports, everything is matched up. Quickly with the light. I'm making sure my gaskets are set and they look really good. They look very, very good. Well, we might have a good intake here. So we're gonna put all the hardware on. We got a lot of it. We got a washer for each one. We've got washers, we've got lock nuts. So we're going to put all of these on. And then we're going to torque to, in the end it's 18 to 20 foot-pounds, but we're going to do 5. And then 10. And we go up from there till we get to where we actually need to be. Circular pattern. Crisscross, circular. Look. I use this little gizmo because it's neat. It doesn't have a handle. To get started, you always want to keep your torque even, because the problem is with a Ford intake manifold, it will rock to one side or the other. You don't want that. Back and forth for the whole thing. We're going to do crisscross. This is going to take like an hour, so I'm not going to tie you up. We'll tighten this up. We'll get the valve covers down, and this engine is going to be waiting to get put in. Screws, I put Loctite right down in the hole. I'm hoping these are going to hold. Notice I'm being real careful because you can't strip them. There's not much holding it. Hope it stays. So there you go. There's our little baffles we made. And the one is in here. I just have to Loctite it. And then it was real simple. I had to clean the dirt out of these. That's all. Look at the hole there. There's your hole. Simple baffle. That should work pretty good. Hi, Gigi. What you doing? Okay, all we gotta do is look for the goo. Where is the goo? Here we go. Now these valve cover gaskets, we don't go hog wild. It's a dab, dab. I don't know about you, but when it's time to change gaskets, if the stuff is all over, it really sucks. You do that. Then you do this. And hopefully it pops into the grooves. Like so. There you go. See that? Then you take it and then we take it like so. Make sure, put your finger under it. Make sure it's staying where it's supposed to. See, it's not happy. The purpose of doing that, then you go around here, make sure the gasket is still where it's supposed to be and whatnot. You might have to go underneath there and pull on a little bit. That's fine. See, the purpose of gluing that is, so you got to do something with the valve cover. You're out racetrack. You're in a hurry. You don't want to have to pull this off and the gasket sticks on the engine. There you are trying to clean the gasket off the engine, and it's like, oh my God, now stuff's falling down in the rockers and all kinds of other stuff. So by putting the gasket, the silicone, a little bit of silicone in the valve cover, when you pull the valve cover, the gasket should come with. But even if it doesn't, chances are it's not stuck to the engine. So it's a win-win all the way around. Get these bolted up. And this is the end of this segment. Next one, we're going to have a special flick there. Next weekend, we're going to be putting a gantry crane together. That way, when it's time to slide his motor in, all one shot. Transmission headers, I'm hoping I can just whoop. So like, subscribe, share, help me out. We're struggling. We want to start racing. I need the subscribers. Maybe that's what you're waiting to see. Bring this car down in the 12s with those regular radial tires in the back. You'll see. Where'd she go? Gigi, come here. Come here, Regina. Regina, say bye. Say bye, Gigi.